Again, not insanely eventful. Like I said, I've been hanging out with family, and I've been, you know, doing some quality time. Um, I've been actually touching grass and taking in the photosynthesis of it like quiet. So, but I suppose what would be interesting is just, I guess, looking up more Street Fighter Six footage and like trying to um, get a feel for where what we know about it now, how the collective knowledge base has come forward, and what we've learned, and getting pretty
Did
get.
did we talk about Kimberly's double super?
We didn't, but a lot of fun stuff has been found since the beta has ended, including the double super. Yes, when you do
So yeah, take it away. Take it away.
when you do Kimberly's level 3 super, she turns on her Walkman and starts playing a theme song that replaces the game soundtrack. Right, and it plays for the whole rest of the game, including next round. And then she gets a little musical icon over her head, and it buffs her speed and damage. Right, so she's in the groove. If you're playing a Kimberly mirror match, and then the second player also does their level 3, it changes the music again, and it adds lyrics, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance style. So
And
now
they're good.
you can hear the lyrics to the theme that was playing. So much fun, and that's the type of shit that's
It's
it's love. You putting little details in the love, love that, man. Little
so I don't
details.
know if this is a conversation that we ever had on the show, but I know it's a conversation I've had with you 3 times. And it's about CVS 1 versus CVS 2.
Mm-hmm.
CVS 2 has infinity fucking characters and modes and shit in it. But what CVS 1 has is adoration and love. So much love went into CVS 1. Like the loading screen for the highway is like a car chase that with the explosion, all the little details.
It's the only Capcom versus SNK game that takes the gravity of the situation of these two companies coming together and like tries to deliver on that hype, you know?
And Street Fighter 6 is giving me a CVS 1 feel because how many times in 1,000 matches are you going to see that double Kimberly thing?
Yeah.
Like maybe zero,
Whenever, yeah.
right? How long is it going to take you to naturally discover that Jamie has 7 taunts
All
depending on
dependent
his
on his
drunken,
drink level.
right?
Yes, exactly.
Like forever.
I
But
saw the sickest clip.
all these little details add up
Hmm. Love.
into a big feeling of, hey, this game's made by people who are in love with it, and there's all this cool stuff
It
happening.
matters, man. I saw a clip that just like the future of Street Fighter, and it's like Ryu versus Luke, and Ryu zoning him out with the fireballs, Hadouken, and then like Jamie blocks, walks forward, goes Hadouken, and then does an EX uppercut and kills him. Ken,
Yeah,
Ken
yeah.
versus Jamie, and just does a little fake Hadouken, and like in response to the real Hadoukens that Ken was throwing out, and then kills him. And I'm like, God damn, that's the taunt for
Kyle
that
has
moment.
a taunt while crouching,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and his taunt while crouching is him holding out his arm and going, "Come here."
Come on. Yeah.
The thing that you would always want to do as Guile.
Uh, the
And
the perfect win pose things as well. You get a little dance for if you win, or like Jury. We talked about her making fun of Chun Li and stuff like that.
the one that got me is because me and you played a lot of Jamie, and Jamie's got the drink mechanic, which makes him drunk and makes him a better fighter. But he has the ability to drink after he's already drunk, and he has a kick
Yes.
move. He has a kick move that can end with him like just downing tons and tons of booze while he's walking backwards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this move seems like trash. Like
He's
it
already
doesn't. Like, what
drunk.
is it? Only to find out that when he drinks in drunk mode, he gets his drive gauge back.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do the move where he's backing up while drinking, you fill your thing from like 0 to full,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
full
Mm-hmm.
gauge back. And now, like, oh, that's great.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep. Even I mean, I saw earlier when you were doing like individual sips, and I'm just like, yo, hold it down, man, hold it down. You can
Well, holding
steal
it down is less
sips.
safe,
Yes,
right? Holding
you,
it.
but you can steal those sips. You know, it's
By
so
the way,
cool.
it's not alcohol.
It's
It's
energy. Yes,
it's herbal medicine or
absolutely,
something like that.
absolutely. We're all feeling it, right? We're feeling the herbal tea. um, so
Yeah, no,
there's
that game is just it had the time
and
has more is clearly had more time put into it than any fighting game we have seen in a long time.
oh yeah, for sure. Everyone's been screenshotting the win quotes because they're all like interpersonal, you know, like they're
Mhm.
like, and they have been for a while, admittedly, but like these are like, I guess we're gonna infer what the future holds from some of that stuff. Um, there's yeah, and just kind of like people are kind of starting to figure out mechanically as well, like um the stuff like Drive Impact, which you know was ripping through anyone trying to play footsies, you know, and you kind of have to learn to adjust. There's been a sort of a like, okay, you got to react to the paint splash. You got to learn to see it coming, respond in kind, you know.
And it finally gives a reason to just throw out random jabs.
If your reactions can handle it, certainly. And then you know, and separate the green as well. Make sure you see that differently. There was a really also just something really fun and nostalgic because over on the Versus Asia channel, Mike Ross ran some sets using Jamie against Marn playing Luke, and man, just that vibe, that nostalgic vibe. It was so fun, just like watching them play, and they're just talking shit, and you know, and like at the end of it,
Mhm.
like Mike is trying to make Jamie work, but he's having a hard time doing it, you know, and Martin's just fucking pressing buttons and having the Luke experience, not too dissimilar to the experience I had with both of those characters. And I was just like, yeah, like it's that time again. It's coming back around, you know.
Yeah.
Um, we talked a bit about the leaks, certainly about you know what people have figured out from the audio files with. You talked about Geef, right?
I
Um,
did talk about Geef.
some of the other things we did get though were that well, you know, I guess spoilers if you don't want to know about one of the new characters, but the new the T-Hawk girl, um,
Lily.
Lily. It's based on the announcer dialogue. It sounds like that is in fact T-Hawk's daughter, straight up,
Yep. Makes
and
sense.
she has got a move that's going to involve like installing a wind blast of some kind. So she's got the Condor dive, she's got the Condor Spire, the T-Hawk moves that we know, and then she'll be able to charge up and store some sort of wind blast. And then
She's gonna be Aganos.
Mina.
She's gonna no. She's gonna be a Taker. She's gonna be able to push you.
Oh yeah, sure. Or Rachel. Rachel Alucard, right? She, the wind
Yeah.
mechanic. Yeah.
Oh
Um,
no.
the Mina, who is the French fighter, who's half judo, half uh, ballet, I think it was,
Mhm.
is gonna have something called the meta system. So she builds up
Really?
Menon, excuse me. She builds up meta levels, and as she builds those levels up, it makes a command grab way more like strong. So she's got some sort of system built around landing a command grab, and if you build up her meta levels, it's gonna hurt more. You know, um,
Yeah.
there's these little clips of you know James Chen being like, "Oh man, and the meta levels at max. Are we gonna see it?" You know, like all that kind of stuff. So
That is such an interesting way to handle a grappler.
mhm.
The fear doesn't come from the grab. The fear increases because the grab's strength goes up over the course of the match.
Whatever the level building mechanic is, it
Which
kind of
creates
remind.
a weird situation. It's like, well, my throw is going to do 40%, so you're going to jump. You're going to jump.
So when Akihiko puts you in a block string in Persona 4 Arena and you keep blocking and his tornado level goes up, Like, you should have more fear when that shadow goes from blue to dark blue to red. And you're like, oh God, whatever comes next is terrifying. And it's like, yes, that fear install moment is really cool. So she's all about this. They also talked about Cammy having something like called a shadow step. I don't know what that's gonna be, but it might be just like
some bleach shit.
it might be her V trigger too, brought back again. Then they said JP, who was the old man that looked kind of like G.
The cane, yeah.
Yeah, the old, yeah. So it seems like his whole thing is he's got some sort of reversal called Chernobog. That's gonna be like fire and such, and like the way they refer to it as like letting it rip. So he's like, oh, he just lets the Chernobog rip, and it's like, okay, he's got some kind of DP thing going on there. He has some sort of teleporting involved, and like he's gonna use purple Shadowloo flame psycho power type stuff as well.
He could be another clone.
So
who knows?
Who knows? And DJ has a whole motif based on the weekend, like not the person, but like enjoying the weekend sunrise and weekend fun time.
Great.
He's all about jamming and whatever. And one of his supers involves pulling out maracas. So his Ultra 2 used to be he shakes them and then like does the auras, but it seems like now he's gonna beat you down with maracas in his hands.
Right.
And then another one of his supers actually starts a rhythm game, and you have to keep the rhythm up, otherwise you drop the combo.
Is he gonna sound like that guy?
I mean, that might be a little bit wild.
Might be a bit much.
Yeah, we might just stick with Phil Lamar and him.
Okay.
Doing his thing, but yeah.
Show more stuff of Street Fighter 6. Come on.
Oh no, everyone's jonesing. Now that they've had a chance to touch it, we're all fiending. And
dude, I saw this from other people, so I went and checked it myself. Going back to Strive is a problem because the matches are just so far apart.
They are far apart, but I did go back to Strive, and I am trying to, scruff up on dust up on my my Nago and stuff. The problem I'm having is just returning back to the Heaven Purgatory, because the ranking system kind of, just as I mentioned, it falls apart when you go from floor 10, which is essentially a compression of floors 10 to 50, and then Heaven, which is Celestial Floor, which is floors 11 to infinity. And it's kind of like, that's just not the way you should have done this. And so we just ping pong back and forth, But yeah, that was interesting. Touch some WoolieVersus.
By the way, Woolie, I'm gonna use this experience this time to ask you, when Street Fighter 6 comes out, I'm gonna stream Street Fighter 6. I would absolutely love it if you would come on to my stream and play Street Fighter 6 with me when that game comes out.
Okay. I would like to make sure that I can play and feel comfortable with how my sets, but yeah.
No, just do it the day it comes out.
All right.
You never did this back in the old days. The shit would just come out. We just go over, be trash.
Yeah,
we were trash that first day SF4 came out.
I've played fighting games differently. I lab, man. I loved lab time. I love getting the hand on information.
So I've told this story before, but I want you to confirm it.
Mm-hmm.
Woolie has always loved lab time. Always. And the one that drops into my head is that when me, you, and like 3 other guys were playing Third Strike sets just for funsies, there was some weird interaction between somebody's super and like an air move, and you went, whoa, what's that? And you fucking soft reset the console. And then just ran into training mode and we're like, yeah, let's try and do that again. Meanwhile, everyone was like, Woolie, what? No, we just We just want to play, dude. No one cares.
I don't remember this, but yeah, knowledge is power, man. That's the only way I get. That's the only way I get better. You know, I'm not like my instincts can only take me so far.
I
I
should
need.
I should I should probably learn something from you because boy, I would have been doing a lot better if I wasn't trying that the wrong input to get the drive cancel out.
Right, right.
Like that, like holding down the triangle and circle on the pad and dashing out of like normals was real tough.
So not everybody's going to necessarily understand this because I know that it's just play. Who cares? Like that's the looseness of doing the thing. But internally, there's a like self-loathing system in place that is like you should know better. And every time you do a thing that you're like, why did you do that dumb thing? And it's because, oh, I don't know the outcome here. It's like, well, then you
Yeah,
should know.
that's fighting games.
It is, but it's also it's also the process of learning the outcome, right? And I know whenever when I fucking do some shit where I'm like, why the fuck did you do that? Right? And it's like, and you're putting a weight on it. So I'm like, when you stomp me out 10-0, 20-0, 30-0, and I'm like, because I don't know the outcome of this thing yet, I'm like, motherfucker, you need to go learn those outcomes. You know, that's
I think the funniest part about your story is about learning outcomes because me and you are playing and I'm playing against randoms for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, right? And then I play against you and I do something that worked on everybody else, which is they're gonna do a jump in on me on my wake up to try and meaty my wake up. And I'm gonna level 3 because no one would expect a level 3. And then I'm playing against you. And I'm in the middle of doing the motion and I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. Willie has seen me do this like literally 100,000 times over 20 years, and you block it because of because of course you are, because I'm the only person stupid enough to fucking throw out fucking 2 corkscrew blows, which is the sequel to good old Rocky being the
right.
only person insane enough to throw out 2 Hado bursts.
Hado bursts back to
full
back.
Speed,
Yes.
and he won.
Yes. Yeah. No, at the end of the day, you're still you, and you still have your instincts, and I'm still me, and I have my instincts. But like, it just like that feeling of being in a kiddie pool and being like, man, like if I only knew what was going on here, I could like play with more like certainty, and then get to the part that's really fun when I know what's up and my mistakes are now based on my tactical errors as opposed to straight up not understanding the system.
You know, it's
right?
really interesting because everybody learns differently, right? I learn through punishment,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can lab all day and lab all these different situations,
Mm-hmm.
but I need my instinct to fail
Mm-hmm.
to integrate it.
That,
I need
same.
me to try and do the thing that I want to do and have it blow up in my fucking face.
I'm not any different, right? But there are circumstances where you're like, okay, but like what has changed in my expectations of the system, for example, that is like failing me here? Is it my instincts or is it something different, right? And again, I this is the type of shit where I'm like, I know to just someone who just wants to watch some fun dumb matches stop caring about that. I'm like, I know you're caring too much, Woolie. But I'm like, yeah, but this is why I love this genre so much, right? What you're hearing from me is part of what I love about it.
Okay.
Right? And
Tell
the
you
thing,
what,
hold on. I'm not, no. I'm not done. So the thing that is, for example, what I found out was, so remember that throw loop, right?
Yeah.
Right?
What was that? SRK
4.
is trying to come out?
So that was SRK's failing.
Yeah.
Based on the wake up animation, you're active before the animation completes.
Yeah, I also actually found out after that, talking to somebody, that only certain SRKs are throw invincible on wake up. I think it has to be like medium or something like that.
So ever since Street Fighter V, they've been doing a thing where it's like truly invincible reversals must be EX'd. You have to spend a little bit of meter to get them. And other buttoned Shoryukens are going to be for either the fastest startup, most air invincibility, or other circumstances, or juggle ability, for example, right? But or combo damage, etc. But the thing is that the wake up timing in that moment was not at all what my expectation was of what it usually is. So you start to you input it and I'm like, whoa, why didn't that work? It's like, because you were too late.
Dude,
and I'm like, wait, why didn't that work? And it was like, oh, you were too late. And I was like, wait, what's happening?
Our brains are so different, because you're like the fucking got math equations going off in the background and all this shit. You know what my brain was doing during that throw loop? I was like, I bet I could throw him again.
Right. I
bet I could throw him again.
Now, people
like, that's it. That was the only thought in my fucking head.
So, Evo Grand Finals contains throw loops in it in Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
People at the highest levels of this game get throw looped. But like in this case, I was like, I had a moment where I was like, hold on, stop. My entire framing of what a reversal is in this game is wrong, right? I'm going
to... Oh, yeah, no, I found that to be the case as well, actually.
And I'm going to actively enjoy myself less having this idea of what a reversal is and then finding out that that's not true. I need to know. I need to. So I go and I find out that, yeah, you got to do it way, way earlier. Not to mention your wake-up options in general are in the corner. There's a whole mind game.
They're bad in this game.
There's a whole plethora of things you got to be worried about, you know? But that's exactly it, right? That wasn't a matter of taking the throw. That was a matter of the correct response is timed differently in this new setting, you know?
Okay, tell you what. I have a solution. Here's the solution. Day the game comes out, which is going to be Tuesday or Friday, right? It's one of those two, right? Come on over to the Pat Stares At show. We'll hook up Discord. We'll just have some dumb roll around the roster matches, right? Good old days. Then invite me onto Get Into Fighting Games 1 week later, which I assume you would still be playing Street Fighter 6.
I'm going to be playing Street Fighter 6.
I guarantee you will have labbed yourself to death, especially in comparison to myself over that week.
Maybe we'll see, but yeah, that sounds like a plan. I think
you can put the Pat at the beginning to the test thing, because it is true. Over time, I get weaker.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still a fucking. You still play Street Fighter, dude, and you know you take your dubs.
Nah,
like, don't...
I'm trash. Nah, what are you talking about?
So
I'm terrible. I'm garbage. I don't know what's a SPD. What is that? Some kind of salt you put in your pad thai? I don't know. What is this?
If I go watch your VODs, is this the humility I'll hear while we were playing against each other?
No.
Oh, okay. Just
no, Woolie. So this was really funny, because a lot of people were really confused why I was so gracious and humble last week on the podcast. After on my show, I was like just shitting all over you and your giant pussy, and it's because you can't do that all the time. You need the pussy no balls get fucked shit only works if you can bring your friend back to zero.
Okay.
By being like a normal person for a while.
Gotcha. You need a reset.
It has to go up and down.
You got to reset.
It's the only way. If you're just pussy no balls, somebody's getting fucked every day, then eventually it'll get old. And when you kick my asshole in at like 10-0 or something, then I look like I'm only being gracious because I lost. But if I ping pong, that lets me option select into graciousness like I was humble the whole time.
Spelling out the strategy. Okay. I see it. We've always been competitive in Street Fighter. You've never like, I feel like, you know, depending on other games, if you don't play them as much, then you might not have as much experience with it, and I would take it in a lot of situations, most of them. but and I you know, like, again, it always depends, but I do feel like in Street Fighter, like, we've it's all you've always been pretty solid, and it's always been competitive. I can't remember like running away with it.
It's not.
um
It's not like Virtua Fighter. That was like the most depressing day of my goddamn fighting game life, where I was so excited to play VF5, and you came over and we played it on the 360, and I discovered that years of playing VF4 Evo against the CPU did not prepare me for a human opponent at all, because you just trounced me like 150 games in a row, and I got like all sad and shit, and it
is
was
that what
very
happened?
depressing.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you trounced me. It was sad. And you were like,
I don't
there, Pat.
remember. I don't
You can
remember.
get good one day, I guess.
Jeez.
Like,
Okay.
and you were like it was depressing. It was, oh my God.
Yeah. But no, let us play some Street Fighter like the good old days, and see where we get to. I will say that, like, the idea of having character crisis on day zero is kind of hilarious, though, because I'm like, so the last match you did and then jumped off. I exited because I was like, let me switch over to Jamie, because I played him a little bit earlier and I was having such an easy time just winning with him and doing stuff, and I was like, oh,
You mean Luke?
sorry, Luke, yeah. And
You keep yeah, yeah.
yeah, and that was the one where you jumped off, and I was like, oh, okay, fair enough, right? He's out. But I'm like, man, I can see right away that it's like Jamie is probably gonna have to work, especially against like Guile, who was so incredible in that,
Yeah,
like,
so I'm
and I felt
this is not the fake graciousness. This is the real graciousness. Guile versus Jamie feels like a bad matchup.
I felt like that Guile, and Guile in the beta in general, and we're looking at it after the fact with other people's opinions. Guile kind of felt like pre-release Potemkin.
A little bit.
It kind of was
bit.
nuts how much people are like, okay, but hold on though. You cannot even react to an EX boom walking forward. You can't block it in time. It's like, what? Round start EX flash kick?
Yeah, no. So
what?
I in if you want to put the fucking like feet on the ground for this, I can adamantly go like for the entirety of my Street Fighter 6 stream in which I've invited you, I can vouch I will not play anything other than a newcomer.
Oh,
And we will
no,
just
don't do anything.
just do the newcomer shit.
Don't vouch anything. Let's just, like you said, you go around the roster and press buttons. But I'm absolutely just like, every time I see an interaction, I'm like, okay, how does this go down? What is it gonna, whatever.
Jamie's
the
a
mind
really
heart
good
body.
example. Jamie's a great example because it wasn't until like a week after the beta ended that I understood what some of his moves even fucking did.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking about how, like, also just like, I was trying to play normal footsies and getting annihilated by drive impacts when I should have been playing neo footsies. Yeah.
It's a whole.
You got to play neo
different universe.
footsies. Drive impact becomes less scary when you're ready to counter it.
Drive impact feels like the perfect length because if I'm sitting there going, I think they're going to drive impact, it's like insanely easy to react to. But in any other situation, I found it to be unreactable. Like if I was watching for it, I could react. If I wasn't, I couldn't.
Well, yes, it's what my good friend Thilo, who's talked about high level fighting game tech and whatnot, has called an attention spike, right? And what you have to do is, like, you have a moment of like, in this next 5 seconds, I expect it'll come, and you get ready to react to it, and then it doesn't come, and you decrease the mental stack again. You build up the mental stack of expectation, and then you decrease it. But people who have been playing Street Fighter for years were like, but I just want to do Ryu crouching medium kick into Hadoken the way I always do and play footsies, and it's like, that's gone now. It's
funny because
you have to earn that after showing you can react.
It did to footsies what Third Strike did to my footsies, which is, okay, they're wiggling. Are they gonna do low forward kick? Is Ken gonna do, or Chun-Li gonna do low forward kick? Well, I could try and parry that if I like felt it. If I felt it, I could do it. And now it's like, just fucking drive impact them through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same. It's the same process. The only difference is the execution is a little more lenient. Though Chun-Li gets to blow up that whole mechanic for free. Like all her shit is multi-hit, so she
Multi-hitting
gets to
buttons really
ignore it.
good. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Blanca's probably gonna get to ignore some of it as well.
We'll see, man. I don't know what they're gonna do. I hope again, as long as I can maintain some ability to say "fuck your fireballs," because that's kind of what I really want in a character, whether it's Blanca or Nikali. Like, I want the ability to kind of go, fuck your fireball." You know, you're zoning. I'm going to call that out, because zoning is a like you take a default right to the horizontal space of the stage. And when I picked Luke and had the ability to just like, oh yeah, the horizontal space of the stage is mine now again. And then whenever I feel like it, I can stall for a second and try to make you beta jump out or whatever. Um, Learning to walk forward and block properly, the old school way, the Street Fighter way, is it's an old skill, and it's necessary. But it's also just like, if you fuck up, how bad is the repercussion going to be? And that depends on who you're playing. If you fuck up against Jamie, I keep saying Jamie, but I mean to say Luke. If you fuck up against Luke, it'll be, it could be rough. You fuck up against Guile, that's it,
Yeah. And you fuck up against Manon when she's got level 3 meta.
Sure.
The end.
It could be the
right?
end.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh man, we got 3 command grabbers! Yay! Hooray! I'm so happy.
I mean, Jamie gets a command grab, but you gotta earn it.
It's not the same. That is a
no. It's a yin and yang. It's a yin and yang grab. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, no, it's fun kind of seeing the post beta commiseration and knowledge sharing going on with this game, and people kind of coming to, like, I guess just terms with like, okay, old Street Fighter knowledge will only carry me so far. This game is doing some wild new shit, and I thought of, because there was a moment where I was thinking of an analogy to the question that always comes up, especially on getting to fighting games, which is this a good game for me to get started with? Should I start here, or should I get this game and start playing it, right? And the short answer is yes. There's no better time, like as usual, to get in.
There's no better time to get in than the day it comes out.
And what I thought of was essentially, if you would imagine that when you start playing a fighting game like Street Fighter 6 on day one, that is everyone at a marathon that's going to run this race, and they're at the starting line, and then the day the game comes out is the gun being fired, and you get to jog alongside everybody. Now, you will be seeing people who have ran marathons in the past. Someone else who ran a marathon called Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5 will be very conditioned and ready for the cardio and the body to take it all the way through at a good pace, and they're going to have the knowledge to get them further ahead. But that's not
really weird. The Street Fighter 3 marathoners keep crouching randomly whenever another person gets near them. It's really bizarre.
But you're not necessarily you don't have to be concerned with that person. You want to have fun with other people who are doing a first time marathon, who are jogging right alongside you. And if you're going slowly, you're gonna find a whole pack of people that are gonna be pretty slow too, but at least there will be there with you, and that's how you're gonna have fun going down this race. But if you show up late to the marathon, you can still enjoy the run. You can still enjoy the distance
faster than the others to catch up,
or have a sense of satisfaction for just accomplishing the jog on your own. But you're not going to be with the others that are there, that started, that are at the same speed as you, but they just came a little earlier,
Now you have to remember, and this is really important, because if you start late, you might be a little bit behind. Luckily, for something that's big and popular like Street Fighter, particularly if it has good rollback, there's always going to be shitty marathon runners. Mm-hmm. Always.
You'll pass by people you'll pass by the rabbit taking its nap on the way. People that are going to just take a break.
People who are trash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
Um,
I've been playing a lot of Rumbleverse, and you know, it's a very interesting experience with Rumbleverse. You fight a bot, and you're beating the bot to death, and you're like, "Wow, what a stupid robot!" And then you kill it, and the name and the fame amount that you get makes it clear that no, that was a player.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were just trash. They might have been a child. Oops. Fucking get good, loser.
But it amounts to the idea that essentially if you go, nah, I'll just wait a bit and deal with, and maybe I'll consider it later. It's like fair enough, but consider that the people that are with you, that are your peers that are learning together, they're gonna be further ahead by that point, and you're gonna have a less fun if that's what you're looking for. If you're self-sufficient and you're like, I want to play this so that I can reach the finish line and I don't care who's near me, then this doesn't apply to you. But for a lot of people, they're looking to enjoy it for the same reasons a lot of us do, and that means you'd be smart to start the day that the gunshot fires and we start running together, you know?
So you know what's an interesting version of this is that I have a bunch of friends in my Discord that are interested in getting Street Fighter 6. And the usual thing that happens is that when a bunch of those guys get Street Fighter or Killer Instinct or Guilty Gear or whatever, is that they decide that the primary way that they're going to play it is that they're going to log on to Discord and shoot the shit and talk blah 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 and play it within that group, right? Which has a problem because it's maybe 5, 6, 7 guys, right? And the problem is someone, not necessarily me, someone is going to fucking rise up and become the hard drive article,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the issue that's always been is that the reason why playing with your pals is so much better isn't just because it's your pals, is because when it's your pals, you just get match after match after match after match after match,
Mm-hmm.
and you can mitigate all the latency problems that you run into, and you just spend so much more time fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And most of those guys don't spend time just hitting up random matches because they're not enjoying the game in and of itself. They're enjoying it as a group activity, right? 6 at the starting line is going to be big, and the net code was excellent. So it definitely enables more of like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed playing with my friends on Friday. Maybe I'll get in a couple matches here or there Sunday morning, or
Mm-hmm.
what have you, and then can rise that up. Because the worst thing that happened to Killer Instinct was when I started playing General Ram, and I then ruined it for all of my friends because they didn't want to play against General Ram because it was infuriating.
But I'm
And then they kind of all stopped playing Killer Instinct.
but I'm also remembering how over the years, various games that you're like, oh, that does look cool, and you're like, so I tried it, and then I just got trounced on ranked, and I was like, man, this doesn't feel good, and you're like, fuck this, everyone's too good now, right?
Yeah, and part of that is sour grapes, blunt. The other part is like when I wanted to get into Street Fighter Five, the experience of waiting 6 minutes to play a Street Fighter Five match only to get trounced in 40 seconds and then go back to waiting for 5 minutes was miserable.
Right.
Fucking hated it. Weirdly enough, Xbox 360 Third Strike, which was a not the
OE.
good one, the OE for the Xbox,
Mm-hmm.
because that was all player matches and all player rooms. I actually had way more fun playing that, even though people would really beat on my fucking ass on there because I could just get into more matches more quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Also, was Third Strike, and Third Strike is just it's Thursday. It's Third Strike.
Yeah, and I mean it's similar to like you jump on Fightcade, you're looking for beasts, like that's where you find them. That's what you're hunting for. So there's places to go for a particular fighting game experience, certainly. Uh, but yeah, the ability to fight, you start Pokemon and Professor Oak is like, pick your starter. By the way, Gary started a year ago. He's already got 4 badges. Good luck. You're like, oh, well, it would have been cool if we started at the same time, but I guess I'll try to catch up, you know?
It's just like I'm thinking back to Street Fighter 4. And I'm thinking back to, hey man, you want to come over and play Street Fighter 4? Yeah, I love Street Fighter. And a friend of mine came over, and I picked Adon, and I was like, I wonder if I can beat him with Adon's roundhouse. And I did.
Mm-hmm.
and then he never wanted to play Street Fighter 4 ever again.
Mm-hmm.
So in my heart, that's obviously a great experience for everyone. But then it meant I didn't have somebody to play Street Fighter 4 at my house because they didn't want to anymore.
And then you queue up the hard drive article.
Yeah.
Yeah.